Hi, my name is Glenn Hasselman. I'm just making this video for the free accounting software users to show you guys how to customize your sales invoice using free accounting software. Now this video is made for the FAS 3 desktop users who are using a locally stored file, so there'll be a separate video for the FAS 3 desktop users that are using a BASOF hosted file, because that comes with different features and the sales invoice customization process is different. It's more flexible. I think it's better, but maybe it's more complicated. And the focus on free accounting software with the desktop or locally stored files is to really keep it simple. So I've started up free accounting software and I've got the list of businesses here. In this type column, you can see two of them say BASOF, so that's a BASOF hosted file, and I'm just going to use this one here, which is called One Demo, which is a locally stored file, and it stores it in this folder called which it says up here. Anyway, double click on it. When I open it up, it takes to the messages page, and that's important because you can see if there's any messages there for you, as well as when you're using a local file, you send and when you send and receive a file from other people, you're actually creating different copies of the file, so you can open the old copy of the file as well. Anyway, click on your business name to get to the menu, and then yeah, so let's see what we've got. So we're going to customize a sales invoice. Let's see how it looks. Sales worksheet. There's one invoice I've already put in here. We just double click on it, and to see the PDF, just click this button that says transaction PDF. I'm going to save it to the desktop, and the software should automatically open it up. Now, I guess to point out there, I went through it pretty quick, but it does ask you where to save the file. You are saving a PDF somewhere to your computer. It's not just going to dump it in a temp folder and then pop it up. And that's a good thing, because you can, if you have confidential information in the software, you'll know exactly where it's saved, and after you finish using the software, you can make sure it's deleted. Okay, anyway, this is what the default looks like. Really basic. It is a perfectly valid tax invoice, and that's the important thing here. Okay. Now I'll show you how you can customize it. You can't do heaps with it, but it's amazing how much better it looks with just an image put up here. If you put your logo there, it looks great. Okay, so in fact, I'll just close that and then go back to free accounting software. Okay, cool. So clicking on the business name to get back to the menu, and then clicking on My Business Details. So there is a button there that says Sales Invoice Layout, and there's a couple things there. One thing here is Add Image. So if we click that, you can choose a file name, but there's nothing to choose there yet. Okay, so you might have an image on your computer that you want to use. You have to bring that image into the file. Okay, so the file, the MyBusiness.fas file can store the image within it. So it's not going to, every time you create a sales invoice, it's not going to go looking on your computer for that image. And particularly if you've sent the file to another person, they wouldn't have that image file on their computer. So you have to do the image import, and there's a link here to image import. Okay, on that page, click this button, import image file. Now I've got an image in the pictures folder here, which is our logo, and I'll just click open, and then it brings it into the file. I'm just going to have to go back to the business here and then click on the My Business Details link to get back into that page, and then Sales Invoice Layout again. Okay, now this time when I go Add Image, it will allow me to select that image. Now you can choose whereabouts on the page you want it to display. I'm going to pick all pages top right. There are other options there, and you can add several images and have different images displaying in different locations. Okay, now it asks you for the image width and height. Now the idea here is to get an image that is at a reasonably high resolution and then shrink it down to a lower size. The reason for that is that printers print at quite a high resolution, so if you have a low resolution image, you'll find that it might look alright on the screen, but when you print it, you'll see that it pixelates. So you don't want it to be pixelated, so test your sales invoice by printing it as well. So I'm just going to say like 30 mil. This image that I've got is pretty much a square, and so that should do it. Okay, now there's a space for a payment term statement. So if you are invoicing people and you want them and you allow them to pay later, it's probably a good idea to state what the payment terms are. You probably have already stated that in your dealing with them in your contract, but you might say payment terms 14 days, and that will display on the invoice. The other one here is payment instructions, so how to pay you. Please pay to our bank account, BSB account number, okay. This one here, terms and conditions, I like the idea of putting some terms and conditions on the actual invoice itself. You hopefully already outlined this in your contract with them, but particularly where the contract is something that renews each year or period of time, that those terms might change and things like that. So it's a good idea to say to outline some of those things, I think. Okay, and then save that. Now, having done that, let's go and see what the invoice looks like. Just going to save it to the desktop again and replace the previous file, and it should automatically pop it up. If it doesn't automatically pop it up, you might need to go to the desktop and double click on the file to open it up. Okay, so there you go. We've got our logo, the payment terms, payment instructions, and the terms and conditions. It's pretty basic, but perfectly legal, does the job, and I think hopefully pretty easy to use, and that's what we're aiming for with the desktop version of the software. I'm going to do some other videos on the BASOF hosted version, and have a look at that. And there are a lot of other features that go with the hosted version other than just the differences in the customization of the invoice as well. And my feeling is that a lot of people are using their desktop software, which really could benefit from upgrading to the hosted one. It's really not very expensive, but it's not free. So yeah. Anyway, that's how to customize an invoice in FAS3 Desktop. I hope the video has been useful to you, and thanks for watching.